What do you even say about a player so controversial that referees don't just give out technicals? They call for security? DiJonai Carrington has officially been shown the door by the Dallas Wings, and it's a move that feels less like a trade and more like an exorcism. This isn't just a case of a struggling player being moved around. This is a player whose presence on the court has created so much chaos, so much dysfunction, that her own team, opponents, referees, and even fans have run out of excuses. Let's not sugarcoat it. DiJonai Carrington didn't just get traded. She got kicked out. And if you've been watching closely this season, you already know why. This is the same player who poked Caitlin Clark in the eye during the playoffs, leaving the WNBA's most marketable rookie with a black eye during the league's biggest stage. The same player who nearly injured her own teammate, Paige Bueckers, while recklessly trying to take out Jessica Shepard. The same player who caused so much tension during a game against the Chicago Sky that officials made the unprecedented move to call for security. 4 flagrant fouls, multiple dangerous plays, and a growing reputation that made her unplayable. If you think DiJonai Carrington has no place in this league anymore, then comment below, fire Carrington. Because what we're about to walk through is not just a trade story. It's the full unraveling of a player who went from rising star to walking liability.
Punching players in the eye, and then we have to remember, she nearly injured Paige. Like, everybody forgot about that. Y'all remember when she nearly injured Paige, nearly took her whole knee out? Like, we got to remember all of those things transpired during this basketball season, man. I'm here to tell you, they made it their business to get rid of her.
Before we even get into the shocking trade that sent DiJonai Carrington packing to Minnesota, let's back up. Because this didn't come out of nowhere. This wasn't some last-minute heat-of-the-moment decision by the Dallas Wings front office. They didn't just roll out of bed one day and say, you know what? Let's ship her off. This move was the inevitable end of a story that's been building all season long. The writing was on the wall. Bold, flashing, impossible to ignore. But somehow, the team tried to ride it out. They tried to keep it quiet. They hoped maybe the chaos would die down. Maybe Carrington would cool off. Maybe things would get better. But they didn't. They got worse. This trade wasn't just a business move. It was a breaking point, a clear message that said, we've had enough. Because what started as just one questionable play quickly spiraled into a pattern of recklessness. It became a weekly drama. Fans holding their breath, wondering if Carrington was going to injure someone next. Opponents bracing for impact every time she checked into the game. The truth is, this was a season full of red flags. Obvious ones, dangerous ones, moments that made fans wince, made teammates frustrated, and made coaches nervous. Moments that could have, and almost did, get someone seriously hurt. And the sad part? It didn't have to be this way. Carrington had the talent. She had the opportunity. But what she didn't have was control. And that lack of control slowly chipped away at any trust she had left in that locker room.
DiJonai, you're always in a dirty play. DiJonai, once again, here we are today. Oh, DiJonai.
It became clear, this wasn't just an aggressive defender, this was a liability on the court. So let's rewind the clock. Let's go back to the moment that started the domino effect. The moment when it all began to unravel. Because that play, the one that shook the entire league, was the beginning of the end for DiJonai Carrington in Dallas. Playoffs, 2024. The Connecticut Sun versus the Indiana Fever. A postseason battle that had all the ingredients: rising stars, veteran grit, and one rookie who had the entire basketball world watching. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who wasn't just playing well, she was rewriting the rules of fan engagement. Her passes were viral, her shots were electric. Her presence alone had brought millions of new eyes to the WNBA. This was supposed to be her moment, a showcase of greatness, a night where legends are born. She was already having a breakout performance, draining threes, running the floor like a general, turning defense into fast break magic. Then came the moment that changed everything. Clark takes possession. The arena holds its breath. She fakes left, cuts right, and glides up into one of her signature jumpers, a move we've seen her pull off with ease all season long. And then, out of nowhere, DiJonai Carrington. She comes flying in from the left, but she's not contesting the ball. She's not reaching for the wrist. She's not swiping at the air. She goes straight for Clark's face. Not a glancing blow, not a basketball accident. Full-on contact, palm, fingers, eye, no protection, no hesitation, no regard. Clark's head snaps backward violently from the force of the blow. She lands awkwardly and immediately grabs her face. The pain, instant and unmistakable. You can see it all over her. The rookie phenom who'd carried her team into the postseason was now doubled over on the hardwood, trying to collect herself after an unprovoked strike to the face. Moments later, when cameras zoomed in from the sideline, the damage was clear. A visible black eye. The swelling, the discoloration, the pain. All right there under the bright playoff lights. And if that wasn't enough, the slow-motion replay drove the point home. Frame by frame, you could see exactly what happened. This wasn't just playing hard. This wasn't an accident. This was targeting.
Intend to hit her in the eye, and if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
Carrington's hand didn't go near the ball. It wasn't misjudged timing. Her eyes, her hand, her energy, all locked in on one thing: Caitlin Clark's face. No attempt to apologize, no look of concern, no moment of reflection from Carrington. Just an attitude of indifference, like nothing unusual had occurred. But everyone watching knew better. Analysts were stunned. Commentators couldn't hide their disbelief. And fans? They were furious. The WNBA's most marketable new star had just been attacked on a national stage. And the person responsible wasn't even pretending to care. What should have been a playoff classic turned into a turning point for the league. Because in that single moment, that single vicious swipe, Carrington wasn't just a player on the court anymore. She became a headline. She became a problem. And this was only the beginning. Now, here's where things go from questionable to disturbing. After the game, the basketball world waits. They want to hear from Carrington. Maybe an explanation. Maybe even an apology. Instead, Carrington shrugs. Says she didn't know she hit Clark, that it wouldn't make sense for her to intentionally hit someone in the eye. Her words come across as dismissive, detached.
Will give us a couple of different angles.
Directions of games.
There's the tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down the floor, buries it, draws the foul, but is shaken up.
It's like she's not even aware of the magnitude of what just happened, but the rest of the league was. That moment became a turning point in how fans, analysts, and players viewed DiJonai Carrington. The label dirty player began to stick, and it only got worse from there. Now fast forward to June 4th. Dallas Wings versus Seattle Storm. Skylar Diggins-Smith is leading a fast break. The crowd is roaring. Diggins, one of the league's top veterans, is looking to finish a clean transition play. And once again, Carrington strikes. Instead of a clean contest, Carrington makes direct contact with Skylar's head. Not the ball, not the arm, the head. The officials don't even hesitate. Flagrant 1 foul. And the crowd reacts with the same stunned disbelief that had followed Carrington all season. Another star player on the floor. Another unnecessary hit. Another incident in a growing list. At this point, even casual fans are connecting the dots. This isn't bad luck. This isn't physical defense. This is a pattern. Player after player, face after face, star after star. Carrington's defensive efforts kept ending with someone on the ground, clutching their head, while she walked away as if nothing happened. One fan said it best on X, formerly Twitter. "This isn't defense, this is WWE." And they're not wrong. Each flagrant, each foul, each moment of recklessness added another layer to the storm that was building around Carrington. And then came the moment that, frankly, should have been the end of her WNBA career. May 21st, Dallas Wings versus Minnesota Lynx. Jessica Shepard goes up for a layup. Carrington, in her usual out-of-control style, comes flying into contest. But instead of making a smart play on the ball, she targets Shepard's face again. Another flagrant. But this time, something even worse happened. Carrington didn't just hurt her opponent. In the chaos of the foul, she injured her own teammate. Paige Bueckers, standing behind Shepard, becomes the unintended victim. As Shepard's body is pushed back by the foul, Bueckers is in the direct path of impact. She absorbs the fall. She twists to protect herself. And just like that, her knee is at risk of being blown out. A player so reckless, so careless, so focused on delivering damage that she can't even avoid hurting her own teammates. Think about that. How destructive do you have to be to become a danger to everyone on the court, including your own side? The Dallas locker room took notice. After that game, teammates weren't just irritated, they were scared. Because it's one thing to be physical, it's another to be unpredictable. Carrington's style had become unplayable. But the final straw, that came just days later, May 30th. Dallas loses to Chicago 97-92. Carrington gets into a heated exchange with referee Roy Gulbion after the final buzzer. It escalates so fast, the ref does something no one had ever seen in the WNBA before. He calls for security. Let that sink in. A professional referee, someone trained to handle pressure, trash talk, and intense playoff tension, felt unsafe enough to need protection from one player. Carrington wasn't just a liability. She had become a threat to everyone in the building. The footage of that security call went viral. Players, coaches, fans, everyone was left in disbelief. Carrington, for her part, responded online saying, "Security? When I'm literally having a civil conversation is insane." But if your civil conversation results in a referee calling security, it's probably not that civil. Her lack of self-awareness only fueled the backlash. By then, fans had already seen too much, and so had the Dallas front office. That was the tipping point. The Caitlin Clark incident wasn't just a moment. It was the moment. The one that forced the Dallas Wings to open their eyes and admit what everyone else had been saying for months. They had a problem on their hands, a problem that could no longer be justified as competitive edge or gritty defense. Because when a player crosses the line so many times that it becomes her signature, not her skill, not her hustle, but her recklessness, you're no longer managing a team. You're managing a crisis. And the Dallas Wings were done managing it. They had backed DiJonai Carrington through every controversy. They had looked the other way after every flagrant. They had defended her through every headline, every suspension, every highlight reel filled with fouls instead of finesse. But when one player becomes bigger than the team, when she starts grabbing more attention for violence than for victories, when your own locker room starts to feel like a danger zone, that's it, game over. And so the news broke. Not with a bang, but with the relief of a long-awaited decision. DiJonai Carrington traded. Destination, Minnesota Lynx. The return package, Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and a 2027 second-round draft pick. On paper, it looked like just another mid-season roster shakeup, a routine adjustment.
Like, I'm sorry, you don't get to plow through somebody's back, almost injure a teammate, and then say, yeah. And then, like, claim that you've done nothing. You've done nothing. Like, and people are like, stand on business. She's like trying to laugh at it. I'm like, no, you're just Pat Bev. You're not Draymond, you're Pat Bev. Like, realistically, you're Pat Bev. That's it. And like, look, and I mean this when I say this.
But those who followed the WNBA closely knew better. This wasn't a basketball transaction. It was a statement. This was Dallas stepping back and saying, "We've had enough. Enough of the chaos, enough of the injuries, enough of watching their franchise become synonymous with controversy." For months, they had tried to make it work. They hoped the aggression would calm down. They waited for the apologies that never came. They believed, maybe foolishly, that Carrington would adapt. She didn't. And so Dallas made the move they should have made months ago. They didn't just trade a player, they cut ties with the storm. They exchanged unpredictability for stability, controversy for chemistry, headlines for hope. And for Dallas Wings fans, it was a breath of fresh air. A sign that the organization was ready to build something real, something lasting, without the shadow of DiJonai Carrington looming over every game. This was about more than statistics, more than minutes played or points scored. This was about culture. And Dallas made it clear, if you're going to wear this jersey, you have to be someone your teammates trust, someone the fans can believe in, someone who doesn't need referees to call for security just to survive the game. It took too long, but they finally did it. And it was about time. Let's break down what Dallas got in return and why this was a big win for them. Diamond Miller is no slouch. She was the number 2 overall pick in the 2023 WNBA draft and earned a spot on the all-rookie team. She's averaging 12.1 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. And her three-point shooting this season has jumped to nearly 54%. She's young, coachable, and most importantly, she's not a walking flagrant foul. Carly Samuelson may be recovering from a foot injury, but her track record is solid. A 41% shooter from the field, nearly 40% from deep, and a reliable veteran presence in the locker room. In short, Dallas traded chaos for control. They shipped out a liability and brought in 2 players who can actually help build a winning culture. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, fans and analysts are scratching their heads. The Lynx are a championship contender, 24 wins, just 5 losses, with sights set on dethroning the New York Liberty. So, why bring in DiJonai Carrington? This is a team built on discipline, on structure, on execution. And now they're injecting someone who has been ejected more times than she's made headlines for actual basketball. Even more puzzling, the trade happened right after Lynx star Napheesa Collier suffered an ankle injury. They needed reliable depth. Instead, they invited chaos. Some people are holding out hope. They're saying, well, maybe Coach Cheryl Reeve is the one person who can fix her. Maybe Minnesota is the fresh start she needs. But let's be real for a second. This isn't about coaching anymore. This isn't about needing guidance or someone to unlock her potential. Carrington isn't just a player who plays with intensity. She's not some misunderstood underdog with a chip on her shoulder. She's a walking red flag, a player whose version of defense means black eyes, headshots, and teammates icing their knees after games. And no amount of X's and O's, film sessions, or pep talks is going to fix that.
DiJonai Carrington, we are not even 10 games into the season. There are more times than not of DiJonai playing dirty, get a flagrant foul. Oh my goodness, DiJonai, what's wrong with you, man? Is this what your coaches condone? Is this what your coaches, like, Christy 2.0, whatever we want to call this coach? I mean, are we condoning this?
Because this isn't about her skill. It's about her mindset. You can't fix a player who doesn't think she's doing anything wrong. Carrington has had every opportunity to adjust her game. She's been called out by fans, by analysts, by fellow players. She's seen the replays. She's heard the criticism. But what has she done? Nothing. No apology, no accountability, just excuses and more chaos. This isn't someone who's lost and looking for guidance. This is someone who believes the rules don't apply to her. Someone who sees her recklessness as toughness, her fouls as statements, her chaos as passion. And here's the harsh truth. You can't coach accountability into someone who refuses to be accountable. You can't teach restraint to someone who sees violence as strategy. And you can't fix a player who doesn't even think she's broken. Cheryl Reeve is one of the most respected coaches in the WNBA. She's built a winning culture in Minnesota. She's earned titles, and she's developed some of the game's brightest stars. But even the best mechanic can't fix a car that keeps crashing itself on purpose. And right now, DiJonai Carrington isn't misunderstood. She's not unlucky. She's not a victim. She's out of control. And unless something changes fast, she's going to take down more than just her own career. She's going to drag down a championship team with her. As the dust settles, the reactions couldn't be clearer. Dallas fans are celebrating like they won the championship. The constant headache is finally gone. No more explaining away suspensions, no more defending dirty plays, no more viral clips for all the wrong reasons. Carrington has officially become someone else's problem. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about one trade. This is the WNBA reaching a turning point, a moment where the league has to decide what it stands for. Does talent excuse reckless behavior? Does aggressive defense have a place when it turns violent? Carrington's trade isn't just another mid-season roster move. It's a statement, a warning shot fired across the league. It sends a message loud and clear, no matter how talented you are. If you're a danger to the people around you, if you make the court unsafe, if you bring chaos instead of leadership, then you don't belong here. This league was built on competition, not destruction, on physical play, not violent intent. And when your name becomes more associated with flagrant fouls than game-winning shots, you've crossed a line no team wants to stand behind. And if Carrington doesn't change in Minnesota, if she keeps playing the same reckless brand of basketball, if she keeps targeting star players and injuring her own teammates, if she keeps being the headline for all the wrong reasons, then let's be honest, she may not be in the WNBA next year at all. Because eventually, even the most talented athletes run out of second chances. And Carrington is dangerously close to the edge. One more incident, one more flagrant, one more security call. That could be it. No team, not even a championship contender like the Lynx, is going to risk their chemistry, their players' safety, or their reputation just to keep one player with a track record of chaos. You can be aggressive, you can be physical, you can even be controversial. But when you become a liability instead of an asset, your days in this league are numbered. And right now, DiJonai Carrington's clock is ticking. So, what do you think? Was this the right move by Dallas? Can Cheryl Reeve turn Carrington around? Or are we watching the final chapter of one of the most controversial players the league has seen in years? Let us know in the comments. And if you're done with Carrington's antics, drop Fire Carrington below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another breakdown like this. Click the next video on screen now, and we'll see you there.